Hello, my deranged friends. I am coming to you from my basement dungeon where I do all my work. It's dirty down here and the lighting isn't great, but I just got back from Cleveland's Oddities Festival show, whatever the heck it's called. Um, and this is something I had made for it that didn't sell for whatever reason. People tend to buy more of the flea markety type stuff that I had out of my collection and less of my handmade art. I got tons of compliments on it, but for whatever reason, people just wanted to handle things and take pictures of it and didn't want to shell out the money and buy the stuff. And that's a bummer, but it's all going to go online and it'll sell there. And I'm not super worried about it, but it would have been nice to not have to ship these things. But I'm going to show you something I made and do a little video on it so you can see what I do for a living. I'm a self-employed artist, been doing this for 20 years, and normally I make like busts and masks and puppets and props, but I've been doing these monster ball things. If you roll back on my channel and you look at some of my shorts, you'll see some of these gourds and other toys and things that I've made. I've been doing some smaller things lately, and this is my first shrunken head that I made. I knocked this one out fairly quick. I wanted to do some lower price things because some of the things they sell are pretty expensive, so I thought maybe if I had something to sell for like $100 to $150. I had some stuff to show that was like $50. The one $50 thing I have, if you go back to my shorts, the demon skull, that did sell. But this guy had for $100, and then I came back home and added some things to it to sell it for $150 because I didn't have time to finish everything because I have ADD and I never scheduled time right. I was too busy working on like higher end projects at home, not getting stuff ready for the show because my time management is terrible. It's been like that my entire life, and I get better every month, but I still am not perfect. But we're not here to talk about that. All right, so anyway, when this thing was ready for the show, it did not have the rope on it, and I made it look cooler, so I'll tell you all about that now. But this thing is like the size, probably bigger than a Mad Ball. I am a huge Mad Balls fan, and if you like Mad Balls, maybe you would dig this too. And if you like Shrunken Heads, maybe you would also like this. But it's not real. I don't make anything real like taxidermy and all that fun stuff. But I make gaffs, which is fake stuff. So my Shrunken Heads are pretty much just art. But it does have human hair, but it didn't come off of anybody's head that I know. It's the type of human hair that they use for wig making, and human hair wigs are super expensive because they are really high end. The cheap ones are made out of plastic hair and usually cost like a fraction of the price of human hair. So I'm going to take this thing off this clear stand now and show you the details on it. I did use a dried out gourd for the base for this thing because I had some leftover from my ghastly gourds line that I had made. That was a proof of concept kind of thing I put together last year where I used epoxy sculpting material, and you have a short work time on this. You got about 1 hour or so until this stuff starts to set up, so you got to sculpt very fast. You got to be a fast sculptor to work with this stuff. Because it will start to dry up on you. So that's part of the fun for me. It's like I like limitations. I guess I'm old school. I want to see what I can do in like an hour and get this thing, wrapped up. I don't go back and Dremel things or anything, and I just want to see what I could do. I usually do all on the phone with my brother. I'll put on like my old Zoom headset from the COVID days, and while he's using me as a therapist and telling me about his life, I sit there and sculpt and get things done. I like to multitask. That's a good thing for people who have ADD. It's good to learn how to multitask. So I try to get some art done. I'll draw or sculpt or paint or whatever, and use my time wisely. Even if I'm watching things on YouTube, I'll sit there and draw or do something while do multiple things at once. It's good to keep your brain going. Anyway, so yeah, here's the sculpt, and after it all set up and dried, then I painted it. And I've been painting forever, so I can paint fairly quick. And you can see all the sculpting details in it. Now with the sculpting material over the gourd, it will last forever. This stuff will dry underwater, so it's hard to break. You know, I wouldn't go chucking it at the wall. It's still a piece of art. It does have the seeds in it still, so it will, if you can hear it. Oh, I'm dizzy now. It will rattle, which is kind of cool. So I, call them rattleheads or something fun like that. So originally when I finished it, I did not have time to put the rope, this jute cord as it's known as, in his eyes, or her, whatever you want it to be. I don't care. So I had sculpted all this detail in the lips and then in the eyeballs, and then I was like, oh, I wish I would have had time to glue in the rope and stuff and make it look like his eyes were sewn shut. I'm going to say he for now, it's easier. And then same with the lips. So after I got home from the show and nobody bought it, I was like, I want to make this thing look cooler. So I went back and I did just that. I put the ropes in the eyes and glued them in so they'll be there forever now, and in the lips. And now I think it looks so much better that way. Now, I did not make a mold of this, so this is the only one in existence. A lot of the stuff I made over the past year, I only made one of, so the person or persons that bought them are getting a one-of-a-kind piece of art. And to buy something for like $100 to $150 with, like a day's worth of work put into something, like, that's, when you put that into hours, is less than most minimum wage people get at this point. I saw that Sheetz gas station is paying people like $16 an hour, and I'm doing this more as a labor of love and like I said, a proof of concept to show people, to get stuff made, to show people like the different lines of things I plan to make. The last few things I did make molds of them, so I will sell the prototypes as one-offs, and then I will make more out of resin. So in the future, I will not have to sculpt these things again. I will make multiple copies, and I will paint them and hair them in different versions, but I will not keep sculpting these things forever, folks. So if I start offering one-offs, the price will go up. And I will eventually tell you where to get them, so everybody can get a chance to get some of my work if you want it. And now you can see that human hair and like the way it's frizzy, and it definitely looks like, you can tell it's real hair, and it's creepy looking. And originally I had it hanging down straight, and it looked alright. It was like just hanging at the sides. But if you look at a lot of shrunken heads online, and that's what I did for a lot of my reference, even though there's a lot of stylized, look to it, I try to keep my own style, which is very kind of, cartoony and pre-code horror comics, which I love, like Tales from the Crypt and all the knockoff ones out there. I have a style to my drawing and my art. So I try to mix real and fake, like the rope looks real, the hair looks real, but then it's got, it's not super realistic, So I did put the rope in its ponytail, the same rope I put in the eyes and the mouth. And that gives it a real, love doing this one-handed as always. You see the hair in the back. It looks like a person's hair. Ooh. So I like that balance of real and fake. So I'm pretty happy with how this first Gaff Shrunken Head ball came out. I'm trying to figure out if people want to like the Shrunken Applehead Witch I did. If you go back in my channel, look at the short I did based on the Vincent Price Shrunken Applehead kit. I hung a chain from its head, which was pretty cool. You can display it by. I also considered jamming a post up into its head, so it's almost like on a stake or on a mount. But, I'm going to talk to whoever ends up buying this one and seeing, what they want to do with it. It has not been claimed yet. I posted it on the old FB, and then I may post it on the Evil Babe, and I'm hoping by tomorrow somebody gives it a home. But for now, I wanted to document this because it's a one and done. I took some photos, and now there's a video, and it'll never be available again. I will post a video of the other one I sculpted and made. I gotta glue the rope in its eyes and in its mouth, and do something cool with the hair on that one. But that one I did make a mold of, so maybe I'll offer copies of it to the public. But I wanted to show my thing I had made for the show and the convention, because I keep reusing words because I'm tired, it's late, and I'm dumb. My brain is soup. And yeah, that's that. I hope you liked seeing it, and I will post more of my own toys and art and masks and weird things I make soon, besides all the crazy things in my collection. That's all for now. Say goodnight, head. Goodnight, head.